Live from behind Mel's Tacos in Los Angeles, California, this is the Master of Unlocking E3 2018 podcast. You will hear our reactions to the press conferences, interviews with developers, and much, much more. And now for the show! Interviews with developers from not yet because we're not really in California. Now get ready for Caleb, Jason, and Logan! And I'm Logan. To my right is Jason.
Hi, everybody.
And across from me is Caleb.
Hello.
Hello. All right. We are going to get started with... We're going to hit on, I guess, everything in order. We're going to start with EA.
And we're done with EA.
Yeah, okay. And we're done with EA? Yeah, they showed Battlefield, Anthem.
Anthem looks cool.
Anthem looks all right.
Took a while, but it was cool. Eventually.
Eventually, they got there with that because the whole conference was just awkward.
Yeah,
it just didn't flow right, and I don't know what it was about it. It was
too much downtime too. It was just
the segment where they brought out the chairs for Anthem. That's where it really kind of fell flat, right?
Yeah,
that was the worst of it.
Yeah, yep. The sit down thing. I don't know. It just something didn't go right with it. So yeah. So that was Anthem.
It looks good when they finally got to it. I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah, when they showed actual gameplay and weren't recycling the same 5 seconds of footage over and over again.
Yeah, what was that?
Was really
I don't know.
Bad and just awkward.
They had nothing to fill the where they were doing that weird like.
And then the weird thing where they went and sat in the crowd with Vince Zampinella and were like, "Oh yeah, so you're working on this thing? Yeah, oh it's Star Wars and it's set between these things."
They should have. I know we'll get to Bethesda later, but. They really should have just done kind of like what they did with Elder Scrolls. It's like they didn't show anything, just a logo on a screen, but
it's
sure,
something.
Why not?
Yeah,
like,
it was very...
Get us hyped, not just this dude in an audience.
Yeah, I don't know. That was just super awkward all around. So, all right. Anybody else anything for EA?
Nope.
Anthem looks cool.
Sports games.
Battlefield is not up any of our alleys. So
that one indie game they showed... Now I'm forgetting the name of it.
Sea of Solitude.
Yeah. I'm not sure about that, but it has potential, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's something different, at least from EA. So, yeah, Unravel 2, but I never played the first Unravel. Yeah. So,
it's kind of mixed reviews, so I just never checked it out.
All right. Well, let's jump right into Microsoft then. So, Microsoft, right out of the gate, Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
And we know absolutely nothing about it other than it's Halo Infinite.
It has rhinos in it.
Sure, because they were always such a big part of the first games.
I don't know what to make of that trailer. I don't know what it is. It could be anything.
It could be anything. And I'm more surprised that they just said, screw it, no 6.
Yeah.
But
which kind of makes me a little worried that this is something different than 6.
It's the rule of this year's E3. If it's not a numbered sequel, then it has a justification to be something else.
Right. And it just seems like, I mean, at the same time, the ending of 5 sucked, but it also was very open for a 6.
Yeah, I don't remember anything about the story in 5.
Logan, refresh my memory about ODST. When it came, why it came, and
the orbital drop shock troopers.
Yeah.
It was
after 3, right?
I think it was before 3.
Was it?
It was set
or
before
like during 3.
I think it was before 3 happened. I thought.
No, it's after 3 because 3 launched on the 360.
No, yeah, in the timeline it was in actual release time.
Got it.
But in the timeline of Halo, I'm pretty sure ODST happens between 2 and 3.
Yeah.
That's where the direction I was going with that. But
it's also called Halo 3 ODST.
Colon ODST,
It is? There's a 3 in there?
Yeah, it's up there on the board. Halo 3 ODST.
Man, you liked ODST that much.
I think ODST is really underrated in what it was.
See, I did not like ODST at all, really. Something about the not playing as a Spartan really bugged me.
See, I don't know. I liked that weird slowed down pace of it. I liked the thematics of like walking around through this weird city and doing all that stuff. And I don't know why. I liked that one a lot. And you notice that all of the Halos are up there except for 5.
Yeah.
Because 5 really just bothered me. I don't know why.
Well, I mean, we also kind of ruined it for ourselves by trying to play it on the hardest difficulty.
I've played every Halo on the
really?
hardest difficulty, though. So this is...
And Reach. I forget about Reach.
I love Reach.
I think Reach was good, too.
I know it's kind of polarizing.
So this isn't the first time that they've gone away from numbering.
No, it's not the first time, no.
So maybe it's not that big of a deal.
Just seems odd that they would go... Because Reach came out after 3. All that stuff came out after 3, and everybody was kind of like, oh yeah, the trilogy's over with it, so now they can kind of do whatever, but you don't do that in the middle or like 2/3 of the way through a trilogy.
I think that the thing that kind of in the back of my head concerns me a little bit, and this is a personal concern, not anything else, is the word infinite implies that they want you to be playing this game for a long time, right? And the only way that you can do that is just if it's multiplayer. So I'm a little concerned there maybe won't be a campaign in there, but there's got to be, right? Like, convince me there is a campaign in this game.
That was Chief's helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what if there's infinite Master Chiefs and infinite Halos?
Which is
This is
like
just Battle Royale. And
red versus blue. I mean, they're all Chiefs.
Idea. Yeah, I don't know. I think we could speculate on it forever, and we probably won't get anything unless we get something from Phil Spencer or somebody in an interview this week sometime.
Yeah. That won't happen.
I don't know.
I mean, he's not going
to give it away.
It might, maybe it wouldn't be playable. Not yet.
No. I don't think I think we're at a concept level at this point, which is kind of shocking at this, because we were due for a Halo this year.
Hopefully there's an interview somewhere where somebody's like, this is what this game is.
Yeah, this is what it is, because it's the way they left that was for it to kind of open the show. That was a cold open for Halo, and then it was just like, Phil Spencer came out and he's like, all right, well, now we're going to talk about, we got 50 games, 18 exclusives, 15 world premieres, and no mention that was even on the screen.
Right.
It was just like, okay, well, what was that thing that you just showed? Because I'm interested in that, but we'll see what that is. But I guess as I said, Microsoft
they kind of really upped their pace a lot from last year, which I really appreciated. It was just kind of trailer.
Very little bit of people coming out on stage and talking. I would think maybe 5 people came out on stage the whole day. So we'll just get right into it as I'm kind of going just going right in order. I got Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Was the first real game they showed with actual gameplay.
The animation looks incredible in that game.
I think they Moon Studios, I think, they probably had some good success with the first one, and they were able to get some money from Microsoft to probably put a little bit more behind that engine, and it looks really nice. I was very surprised at how good it looked. Even, it was like kind of the blended cinematics into into the actual gameplay. That it was incredible.
It's nice.
Was I the only one that finished it?
I finished.
You finished
the
Ori?
first one.
Okay.
I didn't love it. I liked it. I thought that it was a little unnecessarily difficult in spots.
There were some parts of that game that were obnoxiously hard. That water sequence where it's coming up from the ground, that was. But at the same time, like, the speedrunning community loves that game,
right?
And I watched that in just pure amazement, because that game's not easy. You never played it, did you, Jason?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's not your world, is it? Platformer type things.
I don't know. It depends on what it is.
Just never grabbed you.
Yeah.
All right, next one is the From Software game Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice.
Thinking back on the Microsoft press conference, I think this is the one for me. Where if somebody was like, "What was the best thing out of that?" I'd be like, it was this. Yeah,
this is up your alley. You love From Software games to begin with, and
man, the stuff that they were doing with like I don't even what those weapons were, but they were incredible. And then like the guy on the horse comes in, and oh man, the animations are all crazy.
That looks good. The combat looks really interesting. We'll see if it looks like they're going to stick the landing. It looks like they may be graduating from the slow, methodical pace of those games. Into maybe a more frantic style, and I think that would be good for them. I'm sure that there are now Souls fans / From fans that will be interested regardless.
In a way, Bloodborne kind of pushed that a little bit too, because
Really?
it really forces you to be offensive, like the
Bloodborne
entire
does.
game. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't sit back. With Dark Souls, you can sit back with a shield and chip away at stuff.
Okay.
Bloodborne's not going to let you do that. So in a way, I think they're kind of building towards this kind of, let's get more action in there.
I think if they it doesn't. I'm not asking that it be Devil May Cry or anything,
Right.
but maybe just a tick up in pace would help me a lot because Bloodborne felt like I was walking through mud. So
Yeah, well, at the beginning of the game too, you
Yeah.
really, you work up to it.
Was that was 2019? I assume, as was
Everything
95% of
2019,
everything. I'm going to skip over Fallout 76. We'll talk about that at Bethesda, but it was on stage real quick. The next one was The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit.
I'll be playing this for sure.
Play it too. So this was the thing from Don't Nod that is it's set in the Life is Strange universe. It's
Don't Nod's 8th announced game.
yeah.
It seems like they're the new Telltale. They just have like a million games that are.
Yeah, we'll
say that.
Yeah, I know, because Telltale started off hot, and we all know how that's gone the last few years. But it looks interesting. It's June 26th. It's free, so sure, why not? I mean, it's free. Check it out. So if you like Life is Strange, check it out. Next one, Crackdown 3. I'll play it.
I had very little expectations about it, so seeing a trailer that had interesting stuff in it, like met my expectations, I guess.
Sure.
So I am a little bit more excited about that game now, just because there was some cool stuff in that trailer.
Yeah, there was stuff like a car morphing into a tank. Like there was.
And then the car driving up the wall of the building.
Yeah, that stuff was cool. The only thing is February 22nd.
Yeah.
Everybody get your wallets out.
Yeah, it's like, what was that, October 27th, 2017?
Or was it 17 or 16 now?
17, right? It was like Super Mario Super Mario Odyssey,
Assassin's Creed Origins.
Assassin's Creed, and Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein all came out that day, yeah.
So now this is Crackdown,
Days Gone,
and
Metro Exodus.
Wow.
Yeah. So those are all going to be out there. So I'll skip over Nier Automata's coming out on Xbox One.
Right. We talked so much about Nier.
Yeah, we're good. We don't need to talk about that. I'm just saying that I'm going through the list. So Metro looks visually just astonishing. I mean, that's the takeaway I have from that. I never played any of the original Metro games, but
they're always on the bleeding edge of the graphics curve.
Is it the third one?
Yeah.
The third proper Metro?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, since there's nothing coming out this summer, you said that there was a Metro.
Yeah, they re-released the first two.
Them.
Those are bundled together, right? Mm-hmm. On the new consoles.
Mm-hmm.
How long were those games? Were they
as long as you want them to be? You can blast through it as a first-person shooter on easy, and it'll be like 5-6 hours. Mm-hmm. Or you can turn it up to the highest difficulty and stealth through it, and it takes 15-20. Like, it's kind of all over the place.
Interesting. It's cool that you can choose your path.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll think if I'm really bored this summer and
there's not anything
coming out until September, I might think about that. Next thing, Kingdom Hearts 3, January 29th release date. As much as they kept saying 18, here we are with the date finally, but it's in 19.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but called it.
I know. I said December in our prediction thing. I was like, it's gonna be like December 4th
And I'm
or
still not sold on a January date either. I could easily see that being actually like May or August.
It wouldn't surprise me, but at this point, I feel like I feel like it's got to come out. And I know it was like a big shocker to nobody, but they're including Frozen in that.
Yeah, and Ratatouille.
And Ratatouille we saw later, that's going to be in there. So there's a lot of big Disney properties in that, as well it should be. When you have, 18 years, what was it? It was 2004. So yeah, 14 years in between games. You've had a few Disney properties come and go in that time.
Hey, Logan, have you played all of the storyline Kingdom Hearts games?
I didn't play 358 over 2 days. I played Birth by Sleep, and I played Chain of Memories.
Okay.
So
most of them.
Most of them, yeah. I think it seems like the only one you actually really need to play, based on what I've read and stuff, is Birth by Sleep.
I might check that out now that we're in a...
which I think that's period. On one of the weird compilation things. Or if you want to get nuts... I got the PSP copy in the drawer over there if you want to get nuts.
I've been looking for a used PSP, and they are not cheap, surprisingly.
I think it's because there's so many of them that are modded.
Sure.
They've all got homebrew on them, so they're super expensive. But I think mine's still floating around upstairs. I don't think my battery has caught on fire yet. That's a thing. Next thing was Battlefield 5 was there. No one cares. Forza Horizon 4.
They spent a lot of time on Forza Horizon 4.
They did spend a lot of time on that with all the season stuff and everything. And
it looks cool, and I'll play it. I didn't really need to, for them to spend 10 minutes to sell me on that, but whatever.
Yeah. It's October 2nd. It's going to be on Game Pass.
Oh, there's a date.
It was October 2nd, okay. Yeah. So I anything that had some significant dates, I wrote them on here.
Good.
So that's 2 Game Pass games?
Crackdown
and
and Forza will be on Game Pass, yes. And then we had the announcements of the new studio acquisitions. So you had The Initiative, Undead Labs, Playground Games, Ninja Theory, and whatever that We Happy Few publisher was called. I forgot what they're called.
I don't remember.
I don't know. We Happy Few is actually going to get released in August. It's going to come out of
early access.
There's a video on the channel if you'd like to see the very early beta of We Happy
Caleb and I looked at it,
and it looks like shit. So I'm interested to see if that actually changes. And so once they actually have a full release of that, if something happens out of that, because that was one of the most promising trailers of a game that was just awkward and weird.
Yeah.
By the time it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there were some PUBG updates, new maps, new game types, nothing new, nothing groundbreaking there. Then you had a Tales of Vesperia.
I want to check this out.
We all just look at Caleb.
Yeah, I'm the anime guy here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you were like, oh yeah, Tales game, sure. Like, oh.
I've always heard great things about the Tales game, and I've never gotten into them. So maybe this is a chance.
And that's this year too.
I've heard that's kind of like the best one. Like that's the one everyone points to when you talk about Tales. So
okay.
Next time we had the Division 2. Pretty lengthy presentation for Division 2, set in DC.
Gameplay, right?
Yeah, it was gameplay. The gameplay it looks good. That's at the same time, I just didn't care for the first Division that much. Just, I didn't like how it played.
Did you play solo or did you play?
Jason, didn't you and I play a little bit of it?
We didn't play the beta together. That was our first video for the site.
Okay, I don't remember.
I think you played the beta.
Okay.
But I don't think that we played it together, Logan.
Okay, maybe we didn't.
To me, that was definitely the differentiator. Playing it by myself, I hated it. But then in co-op, it was a lot of fun.
Okay, so maybe that's the difference between the two. Is maybe I don't know. It's March 15th of 19 is the release date on that. We'll see if that makes that.
2019.
Yeah,
Hashtag 2019.
Hashtag 2019.
Seriously.
We got a couple quick updates about Game Pass. That Fallout 4 and The Division were coming to Game Pass. They're also running.
That's cool.
They're also and they're running a promo right now on Amazon. You get 6 months of Game Pass for $30. Yeah. I saw that.
What is the normal monthly
It's $10 a month
Okay.
usually. Yeah. So that includes every Xbox exclusive that's Microsoft published, as well as
a curated
lists that includes things like Fallout. And,
they've already kind of been rotating stuff in and out of that too. So I like that if that's the trend where instead of games with gold or whatever, even if they transferred it over to here, hey, play Fallout 4 for 3 months or whatever it is.
Yeah. So. Let's see what else is on. When we had the indie showcases, I'll just call it that. I couldn't even keep track. The games were coming by every 5 seconds. I couldn't type fast enough.
Right.
I remember seeing below on there. The one thing I didn't see was the Last Night or the Last Light or whatever that was called that they showed last year with all the neon stuff. Not even there.
Yeah, there was a different neon game.
There was. Yeah, I kind of saw that. But other than that, was there anything else that you guys saw?
I remember seeing something visually and being like, oh, that looks really cool, but now I can't even remember what it was.
There was that isometric Fox game.
I got that later.
Yeah.
Was that later?
That was later, and it got its own special.
It did get its own slot?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it was called Tunic.
Oh yeah, Tunic.
Tunic.
Okay.
I literally have it farther down here. In parentheses, just says
couldn't
Fox
remember.
game.
Yeah, right.
Because I knew I wouldn't remember what the hell it was. Then we got some Shadow of the Tomb Raider stuff. That game looks like a Tomb Raider game.
Yeah.
Looks good. I'll be playing it.
I don't know why I get so excited about the Tomb Raider games, but I do.
I like a bow and arrow. Maybe that's why I liked Horizon.
It's like comfort junk food type thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's kind of the same. It's like it's basically an Uncharted game too.
Right.
At the same time, and I'm always down for an Uncharted game. Then we had Session. Period.
Period. As in skate.
As in, yeah. Which I think I heard later that this game's actually was crowdfunded.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I in the back of my head I recognized it as being like a thing, but I didn't know anything about it. But I do remember hearing something like, "Oh yeah, they're trying to make a skate on their own because EA is just not doing it."
I mean, that's why EA's not making it. So, which, at the same time, all we got was a movie.
Right.
Nothing, no gameplay.
The guy biffed it at one point, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's I don't know what to make of that. More. I need to see more.
Yeah, I'm not into a skate game to begin with, so that's.
I'm just curious, like in a Tony Hawkless, skateless landscape for the people that want that kind of game, what this is. It's not for me either.
No.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, I don't know. Next we have Black Desert.
Yeah, it's Black Desert Online.
Okay,
it's been around for a while. I think that was just an expansion or something that they.
Is it just coming to console maybe for the
No,
first
it's
time?
been on.
Okay.
I think they announced it last year at the conference. It's come to Xbox.
I don't remember.
But I don't know. It's that is not my genre, so I'm out of my depth here.
All right, that's fair. Then we had Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in.
Why not? Yeah. I think that's we're due for something weird like that. And
The girl caught a cigarette with her mouth.
It's pretty
was
good.
Floating in the air.
I like the neon reveal, the neon sign on the side of a van.
Yeah.
Like, oh, just in case you weren't aware. Like,
Well, that's kind of what the old first Devil May Cry was, right? Dante was like an established demon hunter.
he was, yeah, but it was way more brooding and dark.
Right, but I mean
so
as
serious.
far as like the concept, like
Yes.
he was hired by somebody to go slay a demon, right? And that's what I got from that van was like, yeah, we're gonna do some bounty work here.
So it's like the Ghostbusters hearse.
Yeah,
they're demon hunters for hire. Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
Got it.
yeah. I'm in on that. This is spring 19. So
hashtag 19.
hashtag 19.
Man, how are we gonna play all this stuff?
I don't know. 2019 is gonna be a weird year.
Yeah.
We need more subscribers so we can just quit our day jobs and do this.
Just
Yeah.
play games. Yeah, that'd be great.
Come on, people.
Come on.
Tell your friends.
Like, comment, something like that. Then we had Cuphead DLC announcement. So we're gonna
Called it.
getting a new episode of Cuphead.
Yeah, you did.
And we're getting Chalice Girl or whatever.
Miss Chalice.
Miss Chalice. Yeah, will be joining the crew.
That was also 2019.
Yep, also 2019.
Okay.
I gotta say, out of everyone in this house, the person that seemed most excited about that was Logan's daughter.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
That she could actually play as a female character in Cuphead.
yeah. She got quite the kick out of seeing that. She was like, "Oh, Cuphead! Oh, there's a girl!"
I want to play as the girl.
That's really smart. It's really smart.
Yeah, and yeah. So there's a 7-year-old who wants to play Cuphead, and yeah, I mean she's not very good at it by any
Who
means,
is?
but nobody's.
Who was good at Cuphead?
Yeah. Then we had Tunic, the Fox game.
That game looked neat.
It was a neat
I
little
don't know if
animation.
that game's for me, but
Probably not, but
the look to it
I
is
don't know
cool.
if I'll play it either. It just looked really pretty.
They said it was another one of those like by a single developer, like so could
Good for
could
you.
have your Stardew Valley up there.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Next game we had was Jump Force, which we deemed the Crunchyroll game.
The Crunchyroll game.
That's weird.
So I think I had this revelation after when you left for a minute.
Okay.
But Jump Force, as in Shonen Jump, which is the company that publishes those comics.
Okay.
I think that's what the Jump means.
I thought there might be like a Sunrise or a, like some sort of like relationship there, business relationship there, anime distribution or manga distribution behind that. Okay, I was thinking about that. It's funny you say that. On the way home, I was trying to think of, how you see there are a few different mainstream, what would you call that? Not publishing, but in the movie business, like what is Paramount? Studio, yeah. Okay. So there are a few like anime studios that release a lot of different work from different areas. I wondered if maybe that's how all that licensing got done and all these characters get into one place.
It's very strange that they showed Dragon Ball, One Piece, and Naruto, and I've been watching Dragon Ball, I've been watching One Piece, and one of the guys at work is trying to get me to start watching Naruto.
That's a lot of anime, man.
It's a very weird timing for those three franchises.
Was there some weird thing they showed, like some other like character at the very end?
Yeah, I don't know who that was.
I don't know who that was.
I honestly don't know.
Yeah,
I'm a newbie when it comes to anime. I'm just now getting into anime. So
okay. Yeah, I have no idea. The next one was Dying Light 2.
Yeah.
Cool
I'll be
trailer.
playing some Dying Light too.
That looked good. That looked okay.
I thought it looked better. I never played the first Dying Light, but I was intrigued into this. The weird decisions you can make about which factions you join and how that affects your overall. Was that any part of the first game, or was that?
No, that was not part of the first game at all.
It's just a kind of a quest game, right? Mm-hmm. Co-op quest game. Stay inside at night.
Another incredible co-op game.
Interesting. Then we had a teaser for Battletoads,
which you called like way earlier than
I knew right away.
I don't know why I was just like, it's Battletoads. Like I just for some dumb reason guess that's what it was.
Okay, so wait, Phil Spencer wore the Battletoads t-shirt last year, right? Or was that 2 years ago?
It was 2 years ago.
Okay, so what was he wearing last year so that we know what we're getting at next E3?
I don't know. I'd have to look. And this year he just wore some like just weird Xbox controller or design thing. So.
I have a theory about that. Controller, let's get through the games.
Okay.
Controller redesign coming in 2 years.
I have a theory.
It was for the Scarlet. Did you hear that thing today? Oh,
I heard that.
Yeah, supposedly they're already working on the next console and it's codenamed Scarlet. So. Next we had Just Cause 4. There was a giant tornado.
Yeah,
and you can grappling hook into it, I guess.
3 left such a bad taste in my mouth that I'm just kind of...
I'm with you too. Yeah. You guys saw that through, right? I didn't finish it.
I did,
yeah. And it was so framey and it had so many problems and the story wasn't very good.
The story wasn't very good, and the biggest problem I have was, and this sounds weird to say, but the world was just too big. It was just... To get from one objective to the other, it took a significant amount of time.
Yeah. The quality of life, quote-unquote, stuff that you get from open world games with fast travel now, it's like, without that, and then having the game quality be mediocre at best...
Yeah.
Good for you guys for finishing it. Put it away.
Yeah. But either way, that's actually a 2018 game. That is December 4th of 2018.
December.
So maybe I will be playing that because it's...
now we get into the Gears bundle here. We had Gears Pop.
The internet was right. All 3 of them, right?
Yeah.
So Gears Pop with pop figurines. What was that? Mobile?
Mobile only. Okay. Yeah, mobile only. Then we had a Gears Tactics game.
Was that called Gears Tactics?
It's called Gears Tactics.
Okay. Yeah, that looks sick.
Awesome, right?
I thought it looked cool.
It was different than what I thought it was going to be. It's
PC only.
I think so.
I don't know if
I want to say that said PC only.
I feel like there was
part
of that announcement that was PC only.
Yeah, I think you might be right there.
Yeah.
And then we had a long trailer for Gears 5. And just Gears 5, too. No Gears of War. Gears 5.
I feel like it's not up there. But
it is.
Is it?
It's over. It's behind the pole.
I'll be right back with you guys.
Okay. What are you looking for? Gears 1, 2, and 3 are up there.
I see 3. Yeah, is 4 up there?
No.
Oh, I thought that's what I was asking for.
No.
I feel like was it Gears of War 4?
What?
Was it Gears of War 4?
Yeah, it was Gears of War 4.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like the title screen may have only said Gears 4.
It could have.
From just looking, because that actually barely made my top 10 that year because I started playing a ton of the multiplayer and really enjoyed it. I feel like the title screen just said Gears 4. So I feel like maybe they've been kind of like
Now I'm looking
What
it
year
up.
the
was
Gears
that?
of
Was
War.
that 2016?
16.
Okay.
16 for sure. Yeah, 2016.
I don't think it made my top 10.
It didn't.
But I do remember
There were a lot of
liking
good
it.
games.
It said Gears of War.
Did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So this is focusing on not a Phoenix. It's got Kate is going to be the main protagonist in this.
There's a lot of
But there were other promotional materials that just said Gears 4.
Yeah.
So
Did they remaster those?
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
they just did one.
One? Okay.
And it didn't the campaign didn't run well. And the
Oh,
multiplayer
okay.
was flawless 60. It was like the weird.
Right. Okay.
So it came out. The multiplayer ran incredibly well, and then the campaign ran like shit,
Okay.
which
Yeah.
was like,
Which is like
how does this happen?
well, it's the opposite of the Halo Master Chief Collection, where the campaigns
Single players,
ran
yeah.
extremely well,
How does
and
that happen? Like
and the
everybody
multiplayer was
else,
shit.
everybody else nails that, and like, how do you screw up the campaign's frame rate? That's weird.
I don't know how that. Maybe it's how they farmed it out. Who knows?
All right,
So-
I think that looks cool. I think I mentioned during the press conference. I think it'd be cool if, for lack of a better description, that Marcus was the Dom of this one.
Yeah.
Like if you rode sidecar with Marcus, I think that'd be.
It seemed like it
Really
wasn't the
cool.
case. It was some other guy that I don't
know.
remember.
Yeah, it looked
from
like a
the
new
first-
character.
I don't know if it's
I
a
don't
new
know.
character. I think
Was
he was
he in
in.
4?
I think he was in 4, but I think he was like one of
On
he,
the
he was
periphery?
he was kind of a Baird of
Okay.
a Colin Baird of the first Gears.
He wasn't one of the 4 main characters in that game. That's for sure.
I don't
I
know.
This
thought he
new
was.
guy.
I thought he was.
No, it was another character. All right,
Yeah, I
anyway,
don't know.
carry on.
Anyway, and then we had the wrap up, and then the glitch
Right.
of Cyberpunk 2077.
Which apparently everybody hates.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What?
Why is it?
The character they showed, everybody hated that character.
Why?
I don't know.
The internet's full of dumbasses.
Yeah, I know.
Because he's not Geralt? Like,
Yeah,
what do you want?
Yeah.
He's not brooding and dark, I guess. I don't know.
Well, because it was actually like showed off some color.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, you gotta let CD Projekt spread
Right.
their wings a little bit.
Yeah. Trust, if there's any developer to trust these guys.
Seriously.
like I would want a futuristic world to be pretty bright and shiny.
It's gotta look a certain way. Like, it's gotta have a certain aesthetic to hit the cyberpunk thing that they're going for. And it doesn't have to look like Ruiner. You know, if you guys remember Ruiner.
Yeah.
Just red and black. Like, it doesn't, it can look, maybe that's what people honestly were expecting. Like, especially from the early art and stuff. I feel like maybe like one tonal, or just like either have it just look like, I don't know, like Blade Runner, like old Blade Runner, where it's just like one tone the whole time, which is a cool aesthetic if you nail it. But like, why can't it have like neon colors in it and bright colors in it and
feel like
have some personality to it? Like, what if he's funny? He can be funny. Fuck you, he can be
Right,
funny.
yeah.
Like, he doesn't have to be Geralt, who is just a. I mean, the writing in that game's
I
great.
hate everything,
Right,
but I'm
he's
going
a-
to screw all these women.
He's an asshole. Like, but he knows it. Like, he's self-aware. That's the character they've made, and they did it well. But like, I don't want him to be Geralt. Whatever, people can.
The one thing I'll say about that trailer is I think it's a little odd on the timing of Cyberpunk, because they announced that like 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
I feel like it
It's
was
a long time ago. 4. And now, so they put out a trailer that doesn't show much about the game at all, except for the
They
the
said it was
setting.
in engine.
Yeah, but they didn't put any sort of date on it at all. So why put the trailer out now? You know, like, why wouldn't they wait until it's closer to being done? You know, they had radio silence for so long that why did they just need to put something out so like the investors know that they're working on something?
I think that it's a I think that it's aren't they privately held anyway?
I thought they were privately
I
held.
have no idea.
I'm pretty sure they're
I
privately
think
held.
I think they are too.
Which means it's a part of that not having pressure. I'm pretty sure, I don't want to talk out of school, but they don't have the problems of an Electronic Arts and a Mass Effect and having those kind of things happening.
That's weird to me.
I think it's probably whoever, because any business of that size has a marketing person, probably a team, probably a small team, but marketing people.
Right.
And they're thinking like, we got to do something to keep this in the bloodstream because we're running out of steam. The Witcher really is wrapping. Like, they've extended it nice enough, like Blood and Wine and all the DLC and more critical acclaim, more gushing. But like, we're getting to the point finally where like they're not going to MSRP that Game of the Year edition at $60, but it took a long time to get there.
Yeah.
So I think that they're just trying to remind everybody that we are CD Projekt and we are rare. We are trying to do something that no one else is doing with the whole microtransaction stuff in the code. We can talk about that a little bit. But you people pulled messages out of that code, quote unquote code, right away. And I don't know. I do feel like that there's some sort of marketing strategy behind that. Like, take development, take nerdism out of it, take all of it. Like, somebody is thinking like, here's our plan, and we've got to reach out to people, even if we don't have a date. And why commit to a date when we're going to miss it?
No, I'm definitely not saying that they should commit to a date or anything. I'm just saying, like,
why now?
Why 4 years, have a trailer that doesn't really say anything, and then potentially wait another, 2-3 years? Yeah, why not just wait that 6 years and then just do everything?
Maybe you zoom out and say this is the middle.
Maybe.
Or this is 65%.
That just doesn't
70%.
make... I'm not a marketer.
I'm not either.
So maybe there is something to that. But
I'm just hypothesizing that
to me,
we don't go totally dark.
I'm gonna forget all about this trailer by the time we're done talking. You know what I mean?
Well,
in this sea of other announcements,
is this going to be the same type of thing as like Beyond Good and Evil 2? Like, they're going to put it like, yeah, hey, we're going to work on this. We're working on this thing, and
I think the difference there is, at least for me, is Beyond Good and Evil 2. There was a real chance that game was just no longer being worked on or canceled. So for them to put out a trailer and say, hey, we're still working on this, that makes sense to me, just to reconfirm. No one had any doubts that
they were
CD
working on
Projekt was
Cyberpunk,
working on Cyberpunk. I don't know.
I don't know either. Maybe it's Microsoft's understand the financials behind these press conferences.
Yeah. Well, Microsoft may have just said, "Hey, we want something from you. We want to be able to put this big game on our platform, and we'll pay you whatever just to give us a trailer."
Right. Why not? Why not? If Microsoft throws you a little bit of cash,
that's true. That's a good point. I didn't think about that one.
Why not?
Maybe if Microsoft,
because Microsoft needs it more than Sony needs it.
Right.
So
Microsoft, it looks like they went kind of all in this year and just, hey, we need to have a big year. So maybe they did pay a lot of money to get some of these reveals.
And, after it's all over with, now that we're at the end of Microsoft here, I think overall it was a pretty good press conference. The only thing is just that there's nothing in 2019. Or 2018.
Nothing in 2019.
I'm just so used to saying 19. It's just,
right?
You look through this list of things, and there's only one Microsoft game coming out in 2018, and that's Forza Horizon.
Which is weird too, because last year there really wasn't
much either, because Sea of Thieves got pushed back, and State of Decay just came out in May. They were supposed to have Crackdown last year too, and it's still not going to make this holiday. So they've only got the one. You look through the rest of this, you go, okay, they've got that weird little thing from Don't Nod, and you've got Just Cause, and that's it for 2018 games they showed.
Tomb Raider,
yeah, sorry.
But these aren't exclusives.
No, they're not.
No. So they only have one exclusive coming out this year, unless there was some other indie game that is going to come out this year, but they didn't hype it up at all.
Yeah.
I think and forgive me for the maybe one or two people that actually listen to this besides us on the planet, but I've said this before, and I don't want to get too long-winded in this, but Microsoft, it's going to take them a long time to fix this. And I in relativity to Sony, but I'm just amazed that it went so badly for them, and they're pulling the metric back as much as they can out of this. And it seems like Phil Spencer, leadership wise, is great, and he's got people, lieutenants, that are listening to him, and they have a direction. But their ship was so far off course, like it's almost taken them this whole year to take off. Like, we have to re-strategize in 2017 and 2018, even to be able to start to compete again with Sony in 2019. We've just got they've got a long way to go. And the acquisitions we talked about are a good start.
Right.
But like Sony they blundered everything at the beginning of the generation, and all that stuff is well documented, so I won't get into it. But they screwed up. Like, they screwed up really hard. And they're getting their asses handed to them. Doesn't mean it's not a successful console, because it is, because it's in a lot of homes. It's just that the other one's in twice as many homes. Which is crazy.
I don't think I would say asses handed to them, because they're doing very well.
I would say
the perception is that their asses are getting handed to them.
And there are truly, and it's just because of Sony's breaking all sorts of installment records in homes.
I just wonder
PS4s. It's like the PS2. Everybody had a PS2. Everybody had one. You know?
Yeah, then PS3 came out, and they were,
Well, and they've made all the mistakes that Sony made.
Yeah.
And it's so amazing to me that they're there, and they have no one to blame but themselves. And hubris. The same way that it got Sony. The same way when PlayStation Network went down for 2 months, and Home. Remember PlayStation Home?
Yeah.
Like, all these things that they were like, nope, we know the way. And impossible to develop for a console that was far superior. Like, all of these things. And then Microsoft, the terrible online experience. And then Sony turned around and did everything they did. Everything they did to succeed. Like,
they just took the Microsoft playbook and did it.
It's amazing.
The 360 playbook, and it was like, and it was,
and they stick to it, and now they really have nailed it.
They've established themselves.
So I think they've got a ways to. So now it's dry, because they have to take. It doesn't happen overnight, you know.
And I want to pivoting just a little bit here from then until now. I think one of the most important thing to me that I think that a lot of developers are missing now, like when you look at the games that people are pointing at and saying, these are the big exclusives that I want, and Sony is nailing it, almost all of them are large-scale single-player games.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it with Bethesda, but I think they're really... They missed that. They missed that point.
Do you think Microsoft missed it?
No, I think Microsoft will get there. It's going to take them time, because they didn't have these studios working on this stuff.
That kind of stuff.
Right.
I mean, look at Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's been semi-successful from just a player-based standpoint for them. I think they said 4 million is what they were talking about. 4 million users. Now, how much of them are Game Pass users versus $60 purchase.
I'm not going to
users.
pretend to know.
I played the game for one night. Am I in that number?
You're in that game. You're in that game. I mean, so it's not 4 million in sales. It's 4 million users, but that game is not a game.
The one thing I guess I'm almost forgot, but I want to mention was I thought that the Ninja Theory acquisition for them is big.
That's huge.
And if they put money into them, because there's always been a pseudo partnership with Sony, going back to Heavenly Sword.
Heavenly Sword, yeah.
I mean, it's a long time ago now. So if they actually give them real money, and you can get the budget out of those games historically, because there is a budget limitation to almost everything they've released. If Microsoft just floods them with cash and lets them make a AAA game, it could be really something. Really. You
look at Hellblade.
Hopeful.
And that was just,
that's what I mean by the budget constraints, because Hellblade is great narratively and technically very good, but you can see just with the narrow pathways, this game has some limitations.
I guess I guess my point was that to get the foundation, the bedrock, the games that get people to play on your console, I think those need to be these dedicated single-player games, and the multiplayer games will come from other sources.
Yeah.
You have your Fortnites and your PUBGs and your all that stuff.
And that has shifted. The landscape has shifted.
Yeah, instead of throwing millions of dollars, billions of dollars, whatever it costs to make a multiplayer game, I think that's the wrong way to go. Which I think Microsoft has kind of
they're pulling back on it.
Yeah,
It
seems like they're pulling back.
You'd rather have them pay to be part of your ecosystem, because I wonder how many Xbox Live Gold subscriptions they've lost over this generation. I mean, and how much PS Plus has gained.
Oh, it's got to be daunting.
Huge. Yeah.
It's got to be disgusting.
So just consistently getting that income in of the service of that's where they're losing out.
And those games have changed. Like, it's not Gears and Halo necessarily as much as it is PUBG and Fortnite and maybe even free experiences on PC.
Right.
Like the multiplayer GTA, like the multiplayer space is changing, and I don't think. Probably even like a single player focused game with like multiplayer bolted onto it. Maybe that's
not the way to go. Yeah.
God, but how do you separate those two things?
Well,
if you're Halo, you can't.
Which is
like,
Gears, you can. Well,
but
maybe that's why I'm
is that what Halo
concerned
Infinite
about
is?
Halo Infinite. Yeah, and
so you get to be able to separate those things.
I think, like, you look at, Sea of Thieves, like you mentioned, was supposed to be this multi.
Is that what Halo Infinite is?
Maybe.
I just think
Now
I
we're
started to
just putting it
understand
together,
what you guys were saying.
And so there's that. When State of Decay 2 was first announced or started developing or whatever, it was supposed to be an MMO. They scaled that way back, obviously.
Did you understand that's what he was saying? Were you guys on the same page with Halo Infinite? Is that your
No, I was with you to start with, and now that we've talked about this split now multiplayer thing, now I'm thinking that's what it is.
And on top of that, you remember all the stuff they talked about with Crackdown multiplayer. It just seems like they really think that they need to put a huge amount of money into a big multiplayer game.
And this is like we were talking off mic yesterday. It's like my nightmares of like the post GTA world, GTA Online world. Like, if everything is viewed in that financial prism where it's not sure the single player game is revered and it was great and I love it. I think it's a masterpiece, GTA 5, but like they've made gobs of money because of the online thing that they've built. And so does everybody want a piece of that pie? And you've got this PUBG Fortnite phenomenon going on. Are these siloed experiences?
Yeah. And that's why I'm a little cynical on the Microsoft side of it.
Maybe I'm not the market anymore.
Because I think Sony has really figured out the way to do this.
The way that you want to play games.
Well, the way that's very successful.
Well, I don't know. If you have an experience and it is a single player experience that's compelling enough, like God of War, and you have to own a particular system for it.
Exactly.
People are willing to buy one, maybe. And so that's the one that they choose. Similar to like, look, we're a little bit older than Caleb, but you remember like when GTA 3 was a PS2 exclusive.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, everyone owned a PS2. Sorry if I said 3. Or maybe I said GTA.
GTA 3
PS2. Like, there were things you could get on a PS2 that you could not get anywhere else. And that was it.
And Halo was the same thing. You couldn't play Halo on anything else. The first Halo, and it was like you had to have an Xbox
you make
for
that choice.
And the only thing is as I look at this, I'm going, okay, well, and I don't know from a financial aspect what Sony and Microsoft would think of me, because I look at it and I go, I have my PS4 for those single player exclusive titles. So my Uncharted, God of War, but I don't have a PlayStation Plus membership. I have an Xbox Live Gold membership. And which is more important to them, to have that install base or to have somebody who's paying $60 a year for their service?
But I think
using their ecosystem for that type of thing.
I really think you're more of the exception than you think, because there's a lot of people out there that don't buy both.
Right, and I guess there's a lot of people though, if they're making that decision right now on the exclusives, they're still going, oh, those exclusives look better on a PS4.
Oh yeah, but while I'm playing God of War, somebody's playing Fortnite. Let me pick up PS Plus real quick so I can play with you.
All of these things
that I don't disagree with you with,
compounded by, we were talking about just the initial messaging and the screw up at the beginning of this generation from Microsoft. Like, even just talking about it, like, it's just no wonder the way things are the way they are.
People still think that console has to be online all the time.
Maybe. I mean, I don't. Maybe. Yeah. That's interesting. Before we wrap Microsoft, let's talk about real quick. I have Phil Spencer's quote here, and so what is the code name for it? Because I didn't
Scarlet.
see Scarlet. So Phil Spencer said, "Our hardware team is deep into architecting the next Xbox consoles."
I don't think that's at this point. I don't think that's crazy, Because you're still looking at I think you're still looking at a 2 to 3 year window for release on that thing.
And on top of that, it doesn't. Nothing says that it has to be the next generation of Xbox.
No,
It could be another.
and I think they learned that whatever it is going to be backwards compatible.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think from now on, my prediction is from now on, maybe Sony does their own thing because they're kind of old fashioned that way. You know, PlayStation 5, and they also have the branding for it. But with Microsoft, at least, I don't think there's going to be a clear cut generation.
And he's
at
been,
any point
and
anymore.
Phil's been very adamant about saying, a console's going to be like a phone.
Right.
Like it's every year there might be a new iteration of it.
But you don't need to buy the new one.
You don't need to buy the new one.
Everything will work on your old one, but
there's going to be some things like, you'll even look at like some old, some games now are going to come out on phones like that are not, you're not going to be able to play it on your iPhone 6. It's just not going to work.
right.
And that's probably what's going to happen with the new world.
But when was the iPhone 6? That was a while ago at this point, right?
I honestly don't remember. And we're sitting here with one of us has one. I think there was an interesting thing that was said yesterday in the Bethesda conference. I don't know if everybody picked up on, but Starfield, Todd Howard said that is a next generation game.
That's interesting. I did catch that language, but I was like, is he still using next generation for this life cycle?
I didn't see it that way. I thought he was saying next generation as in like
Clearly the next set of boxes / cards.
I saw that as just more of a buzzword. This is huge. This is next generation.
Todd did
stuff,
throw some marketing speak. Are we done with Microsoft? We can.
I think we're done with
Bethesda.
Microsoft. Yeah.
I just thought it was interesting that Phil clearly said yesterday. In fact, I thought I heard him wrong until I read that while you were talking about it. He said next generation. I was like, I don't think I just heard that correctly. He didn't just reference just totally on a whim, just throwaway comment new boxes, but I guess he did. So
because I don't think I think it's far enough away that it's not worth. It's not worth the
it's
time
like, hey,
to
it's
spend.
not some big secret that we still look at
of
hardware.
Of course, we're still looking at
Microsoft.
hardware. Yeah, that's
The reason our hardware team wasn't here today is because they don't really have much to.
So whatever he had on his shirt is an illustration for the new
something.
system.
It's like the architecture or something of the new system. Yeah. Let's get into Bethesda, I guess. Andrew WK.
So I thought that was Party Hard, and it wasn't.
It was not.
Is that a Rage original?
Maybe.
Can we move on? I'm still cringing.
Man, that was awkward.
The crowd shots were what really made it for me. It was almost like I would have been cringing, except it was so awesome to see the crowd's reaction, just mouth agape, and some people just kind of doing the
sitting back,
and some people doing the slow Christian Bale. It was just so weird.
One of my friends texted while this concert was going. And said, why do they keep showing unenthusiastic people in the crowd? Why can't they pick out the people that are excited? And I'm like,
there aren't any.
This is the best they got. So they found the least cringy and showed it.
And then Andrew WK. Andrew WK 2.0 came out except a foot taller came out. The lead at whatever studio that is. He's the studio lead for Avalanche, right? Avalanche?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That dude looks like a Norwegian metal god. I mean, he looks like
great.
Thor, man. With that beard and the hair.
Thor, yeah.
Man.
Did he have on a Metallica shirt too or something?
No, it was I'll have to Google it later. It was a Grave t-shirt, which hits me as some Euro metal band, probably
some indie,
some funeral metal band or something.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So they showed Rage 2, and
That
Rage
looks good.
2 looks good.
I'm in.
Sure.
Yeah.
Looks good.
The game, again, the same friend that texted said the game nobody asks for, but actually looks pretty cool.
That might be one of my standouts from yesterday. Actually,
It's Rage, yeah.
it looks really good.
There was a lot of cool things about that.
They're doing the Destiny power. The power slam thing.
Yeah, he threw his thing on the ground.
thing.
He was
There's that thing that chopped the dude up from up his waist, and he went all over the place. And it looks gross in a good way. And the car stuff looks good too, the car physics and the explosions.
Well,
and
that's the same
particle
studio that made
systems,
Mad
they look
Max. So
good. Is that why it looks like
Yeah.
that so much? Okay,
It's they
of course.
improved on Mad Max.
Avalanche. Yeah.
and the big conspiracy theory that's been floating around is that they were making Mad Max 2. and then the licensing fell through because there was some weird thing with the licensing for Mad Max. I don't remember exactly what happened. It got bought or sold or something happened with it. So they had this game that they couldn't release because they didn't have a license for it. So Bethesda swooped in and said, "Throw Rage 2 on it. Let's go." That's the conspiracy theory.
I like that actually.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound completely crazy.
Sure.
And Elder Scrolls Online.
No.
Yep.
Move on.
Move on. Doom Eternal.
This is the Halo situation.
Yeah.
Like,
At
what
least
is this game?
But I think at the same time, I think we know it. He said a Doom sequel.
Yeah, he did say a Doom sequel, so that implies single player. Plus, the multiplayer in that game got panned. So
Maybe they just take it out.
hopefully they just take it out and this is purely single player.
So, if I may, there was Doom, right? Then there was just straight Doom 2 way back when, right?
Doom 3.
And then Doom 3. But in between there was what? Doom 64? What, any other platforms that Doom came out
Wasn't
on?
there like a Final Doom?
Final Doom. There was a Final Doom, yeah. So I'm just trying to think of, like, once again, non-numbered sequels in the lineage of id and the lineage of Doom. And what kind of tea leaves we could read that aren't this multiplayer doomsday Caleb has cast upon me.
Yeah, I think it's just a Doom sequel. And I think we're going to... whether there's a multiplayer or not, I don't know.
Why wouldn't they call it Doom 2? I'm serious.
Maybe because there already is a Doom 2.
Yeah, that's not a bad point.
But there was already a Doom.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
It also could just be a trend that nobody wants to do numbered sequels anymore, and they're just going to do these weird things. It could be a new thing.
Like like Tomb Raider
Yeah.
doesn't have
Like-
numbers on them.
No.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'll allow those positive thoughts to wash over.
Okay. Next one, Wolfenstein Youngblood.
Wolfenstein.
Yeah, that...
I kind
Sure.
of forgot about that actually.
Yeah.
So that's not a numbered
But
sequel
was
either, but it looks like a sequel.
well, no, it's a separate story because it's Blaskovich's twin daughters and set in the future. So it's supposed to be set in like the late 80s or something, right?
Yes, mid 80s is what the date they
Mid
said.
80s, yeah. So it's it's just another game in the Wolfenstein universe that's not a proper Wolfenstein, but it's not a sequel or anything. It's, if anything, it's like a way out in the future, just side story. So
Looks
and
cool.
you get to kill fucking Nazis, as they said.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then we got to Fallout 76.
Okay, I'll see you guys. Talk.
I don't want to talk about it.
Neither Jason or I are not Fallout people to begin with, so this goes back to your multiplayer stuff, and it just doesn't.
Yeah, I just.
He said he was gonna
Fallout
take care
doesn't
of you.
need that.
He said he was going to take care of you. He said it. He said, "Dear Caleb, I hear your complaints. You can play it by yourself. Love, Todd." That's what he said.
Maybe
He
it's
said
good.
he said you can play it by yourself, but he did not say you could play it offline. Which means there's still going to be other people in my world running around and screwing stuff up all the time.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
But you don't lose your loot. You don't lose your level.
He said you don't lose. What did he say? You don't lose your level. It was a little ambiguous the way he said it. Like what happens to your items or your equipment and stuff wasn't extremely clear. And I just don't want other people in my Fallout. Like, I'm sorry.
It's fine. That's fair.
just-
I wouldn't either.
That's kind of the whole point of Fallout is like you're the one person that's gonna save everything, and now it's just kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, that's completely fair. And that comes out. Is that this year?
I don't know. Yes, I
Yes,
think
it did.
It was
Yeah,
this year. It's
Yeah.
November 17th.
something like
Yeah, I
I
want to say November 4th for some reason.
Maybe November, though.
I could
Are
be
we-
wrong.
I
Yeah,
think
it's November though. Yeah, so it's one of the games that's actually coming out.
I
This
need
year.
to know more about that game.
There is a beta
The
coming up.
What's the opposite of cautiously optimistic?
Yeah.
Can I be
Pessimistically pessimistic?
Can I be cautiously pessimistic?
Yes, I think you can be. I think that's
Guarded,
fair.
I think, is the thing
Guarded.
people say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Hopeful but guarded.
There was a mobile game, Elder Scrolls Blades. Yeah, where none of us are interested in that, but yeah, it's a thing. I'm just rattling off everything that was listed.
One of those the older games when the iPhone first launched that looked incredible at the time.
Infinity Blade.
Infinity Blade. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
Anyway, move on.
Yeah. Then we had a teaser for Starfield, which we talked about. Is that really next gen? Is it not? I don't know what that is.
It was a planet and then just a graphic,
satellite.
like a little motion graphic. Oh yeah, a satellite.
Which is funny because he said, like, he explicitly said, you know, we usually concentrate on the stuff that we have coming, like, very soon, but we want to make sure you know we're working on this. Which makes it seem like that game's not coming out anytime soon.
And then followed up with Elder Scrolls 6, which doesn't even have a colon after it, which every Elder Scrolls game has a colon after it. So that tells you how far in development that is. With a very generic landscape.
Yeah, it was just a city.
It was okay, that could be anything. Like that was.
And the thing that disappointed me, I know you guys aren't Elder Scrolls people, but I really wanted the next Elder Scrolls to be in Black Marsh, which is the area with the lizard people. But they, as part of their Elder Scrolls Online, they were like, and now you can go to Black Marsh. I'm like, well, that goes that. That's not the new one's not going to be in Black Marsh.
Well, and then I don't. At the same time, though, when you just look at headlines today of like, I just pull up just a generic news website. There's no other news except for Elder Scrolls 6 announced.
Yeah,
like that's what the mainstream media picked up on. So I guess they succeeded in that, but at the same time, it's announced, but. Nothing, no details, no nothing. Like that's.
I go back and forth on the way on if I like that or not. Like, for instance, Gearbox did it the opposite way, where they're just like they just won't announce Borderlands 3, even though everyone knows that they're working on it. Yeah. So it's like, do you just get that name out there and say you're working on it, or do you hold it behind closed doors? I don't know.
Part of me, I'd rather it be behind closed doors. I guess maybe I just like the element of surprise a little bit more than nothing. I mean,
this game's coming eventually. It's like,
one day Half-Life 3's coming, but it's yeah, right. Anybody else have anything on Bethesda? All right, I'm good. Todd Howard's leather jacket. That's about it.
Sure.
That's all I got.
Matched his shoes.
Did? Okay.
Yeah, he was well dressed yesterday.
Yeah. His hair is always
and that Jason's GQ Minute has been sponsored by GQ.
I'm in more with details, man, than GQ.
Okay.
Sorry.
Now we get
Jason's to GQ Minute sponsored by Details.
Now we get to the clusterfuck known as Devolver. Again,
clusterfuck's a good word for it.
That's.
Glorious
clusterfuck. I love Devolver's press conferences. They're great. We actually got some games out of it. It was
that's a good change for them. I like that. Because last year they had that weird thing that just like I appreciated it for what it was because it was awesome and entertaining to watch.
Art on its own.
But at the same time it was like, what was the point in that? Like you didn't actually
Yeah, this year actually made a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
So we got a game called Scum. That was kind of like a survival-ish game.
Which I can't tell if that... Because they said something about Season 2. And I was like, is that game out?
I know nothing about this.
I've never even heard of that before this.
I've seen stuff on it before.
It also could be one of those things, like, this one always screwed me up when I was a child. But there was a rapist movie, Bill Cosby movie, called Leonard Part 6.
Okay.
And I never understood where the Part 6 came from because there was never a Part 1 through 5. But it was just called... And it completely messed with me as a child. I was like, why is...
It's like that old story of the high school prank with the pigs.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They painted 1, 2, and 4 on pigs and then released them in a high school. And they freaked out because they couldn't find pig 3. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe is that what maybe it wouldn't surprise me if it's like some weird just joke of like, this is season 2 or season 1. I have no idea.
The idea with Scum, or at least was what it was kind of like a cops versus like a escapees thing from prison, like in an open area. So kind of like a big like TDM game of like escapees from prison out in like this open space versus like mobilized units to get them to capture the fugitives. But that was a long time ago. I want you to search every outhouse, henhouse, doghouse, penthouse, courthouse, and this whatever Tommy Lee Jones says.
That was good.
Thank you. You're welcome. I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
Yeah. Sorry. Anything else on Scum? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was kind of hard to tell. Yeah. Then we got to My Friend Pedro.
It looks neat.
I think that looks neat too. I'm interested in how it
does.
controls.
Right.
But
It seems like you need a third hand to control
very
that
much
game.
so. Like, do I have to use the D-pad and the analog sticks? Like, it's very interesting, but I'm interested to play that. The other thing I thought that was really weird about that was that the platforms it's coming out on. Did you notice it was only PC and Switch?
Yeah, weird.
That doesn't surprise me, honestly, because that tends to be like the indie breeding ground right now.
Is the Switch?
Is the Switch, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess I'm glad I have a Switch for that. Like, that's, I just have to make sure my 7-year-old doesn't play that one.
Right.
Because that's violent as
Good
hell.
luck with those parental controls. 'Cause
Yeah, I'm
I've
going
heard
to have to learn those parental controls on the Switch.
I've heard they're not good, but
Oh, boy.
good luck.
All right, that'll be a lot of fun. And then there was Wolf Metal. What was it called?
Metal Wolf Chaos.
Metal Wolf Chaos.
Yeah.
I wrote it backwards. I knew it wasn't right.
Caleb, tell
So,
me a story
this is-
of Metal Wolf Chaos.
Metal Wolf Chaos was a From Software game
Shocker.
on the original Xbox, released in 2005, only in Japan. The weird part about this is it's a game solely about America, specifically like a corrupt American president and a person that needs to go kill the corrupt American president. The game is entirely voiced in English, takes place entirely in America, all the characters are American, and yet it was only ever released in Japan.
Sure.
Which is very strange. I've been wanting to play this game for a long time, but I just could never get over the hump of actually buying a Japanese
So
Xbox
is it the
to play
same
it.
game?
Yeah.
And they're just finally ported it over? Okay.
So it sounds like they're like up-resing the graphics. It did say, they called it classic voice acting, which in other words means
They haven't changed
they're
it.
not changing voice acting.
Classic.
They put a marketing spin on that.
So Devolver just basically paid From Software. They said, hey, we want to release this over here.
So and the reason this all came about was I don't remember the name of it, but there's a pretty popular Let's Play channel on YouTube that did a Let's Play of Metal Wolf Chaos, and they got a big following from it, and people kept tweeting from saying, hey, bring this over. And this was like last year or 2 years ago. Bring this over. We would buy it. We would play it. And Devolver saw that tweet storm and tweeted at From saying, hey, if you want help publishing this, let us know.
and that's how it
And
happened.
that's how it happened.
There it is.
Sure.
Which is really cool.
Random story. But yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
And that's this year. So
And that is this year. That was going to come out this year. So, and I think was my friend Pedro coming out this year too?
I think that's in 19, but I'm not sure.
I didn't see it. I couldn't see a date. I don't remember a date, but I don't know. We'll see what happens with that one. It looked like it was somewhere close to being done. Like where Scum looked like it was nowhere close to being done. That's it for Devolver, other than just their weird stuff that they did on the side.
We'll see what that looks like next year.
Just go watch the Devolver press conference.
They've got their own narrative
They
going
do
on
have-
every year now. It's like when Jack in the Box killed Jack.
Yeah.
It's its own thing.
Or when IHOP changed.
Oh God, no.
Okay,
no.
we're not doing that. Okay. All right, never mind.
That we're never gonna. IHOP's gonna go the way of Toys R Us. You can't. No. We
Did
can't
you hear
talk
about
about
this?
this.
I did. We talked about it yesterday.
No, did you hear about
IHOP.
this morning's revelation?
No. Toys R what?
IHOP is we did the IHOP thing, but it's not the International House of Breakfast. I was right. Sadly, it's the International House of Burgers. They're dumping pancakes and going to burgers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like the Eternal Champions thing, right? Like
No.
he's
No,
fucking
no.
with me.
No, this is
he's not.
people are losing their shit. Like
It's
Wait,
the
are they still going to be a
biggest-
breakfast place?
No.
no,
No.
like because we need another burger place.
But then again, this is probably just a big publicity stunt. And
I don't know.
nothing's
They've
gonna
got
come
like
out of it.
full commercials out there with like them like smashing burgers down and stuff, and it's like drop the pancakes, get the burgers. Like, I think they're doing it.
Anyway, this is video games.
Yeah, video games, International House of VGs. I don't know, VGs.
I'm not well.
No.
into it.
Okay. Well, good thing because we have very little to talk about with Square.
I was pleased with Square. Honestly, they had like 5 properties. They showed a trailer for each, and then they called it a day.
Right,
Like
there
that's
was-
totally fine with me.
No, I just said there's just little to talk
Yeah,
about with it. The only things new that they showed were some Final Fantasy 14 stuff, a weird cross-dressing thing with Monster Hunter,
Right.
and then under Dragon Quest. Is that what it was?
Yeah, Dragon Quest 11.
Dragon Quest 11.
Echoes of an elusive age, I think.
Echoes of an Elusive Pancake.
Burger.
Oh, yeah, Burger. And then some really weird, vague trailer for a game called The Quiet Man.
Yeah, which looks interesting.
Which was a weird trailer. It's like
It was like real life. Yeah.
whatever.
Did we see a developer on that? I don't remember.
No.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe
I'm wondering.
could have been one in the Z copy at the bottom. Maybe.
I think the thing that people are going to be with Square are going to say, okay, where was Final Fantasy VII? Which there's still a potential of that being at Sony tonight. I don't think so, but that's going to be the question. And then the other thing I was surprised that we didn't get anything from Square on here was the Crystal D Avengers property.
Yeah, that I think is more likely to be shown at Sony.
That could be. And
The Final Fantasy thing, as far as I know, is just in development hell, and I think it's going to be a while before we see anything.
it was
out
the
of
same
that.
with Kingdom Hearts 3. I mean,
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 3 has technically been in development since
Square definitely has a pattern.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy 15, same thing.
Whenever they are the developer, they have problems.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if they show up with something at Sony tonight. But that's the first half of E3. We've got,
It's been good. It's been good so far.
Yeah, we've got Ubi and Sony and Nintendo left to go.
2019 is going to be insane.
Loaded, and I'm going to be playing a lot of Red Dead in 2018. So
Maybe Last of Us could still come out this year.
could be. I don't know.
Yeah, we gotta hold out.
Hope for
till we
something for
see.
Sony.
I mean,
Sony still has Spider-Man coming. That's for sure.
it's
Yeah.
possible that we see Watch Dogs at Ubi
That's true.
and at Sony.
What time is that, by the way?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. We got another hour.
Good.
We can go play horse for a minute.
Yes, let's go play horse. Yes,
Jason's going to defend his championship.
He does.
let's go play horse.
Okay, let's go play some horse. All right. We'll see you later.